introduce to you what we are going to do for the next 2 days. What are the topics that we can cover and to what extent we can cover, what are the examples we are going to do and so on. Right? The outline of the workshop, introduction, I'll be introducing to you what is collapse, Anaconda distribution packages. We'll write our first Python program. Then I'll introduce to you what is meant by data types, what are different variables. And then I'll give you an introduction to control statements, for loop, if, while loop, if statement and nested if. The next thing what we'll be doing is we'll be learning what are functions. Lists, tuples and dictionaries. Classes and methods. We will be studying the object-oriented programming structure. We will be studying different modules in Python and its related packages. What is random, what is datetime, what is math, how will you define a module. We will extend our study towards object-oriented programming. What type of object-oriented programming is Python? How are we going to use the maximum points that is available in Python for a real-time programming? We'll see certain packages like NumPy, Matplotlib, SciPy and PyAudio. How you can process audio signals, how you can draw graphs, how will you do scientific computing, what are the different packages that is useful for all these things. Provided our time permits and you are capable of grasping things as fast as possible. So let me begin with the introduction to Python. So Python is a general purpose programming language that was developed long ago, even before many of the other languages which are used today. It was developed in 1990s by a Dutch programmer called as Guido van Rossum. Python is developed under an open source OSI license. So Python is a general purpose programming language. It was developed in 1990s and it's an open source. That means that you can use Python for free. You don't need to pay for using Python because there are certain programming languages where you need to pay for its usage. There are so many things. We have built-in packages. Even in Python we have certain advanced packages where you need to pay. Say for example, you are using Django, first level is free, second level, higher levels you need to pay. So Python is an interpreted programming language. I have already explained to you what is an interpreted programming language. I believe all of you know what is an interpreted language. It is executed line by line. Every line you run, it gets executed. Fine. Is that okay? Then if you want to write a Python program, you need what is called as a Python interpreter. You need a Python interpreter. So you will not be able to run your program without that. Others are all environments. Environments is a place where you write a program. You can write a program in Notepad and still run it as a Python program, right? Provided you have this Python interpreter and you save this program as an extension as py. PEP8. This is a very common question that is being asked in interviews and so many other places. What is PEP8? You can refer to these documents in the python.org website. PEP8 is a document that gives the coding conventions for Python. Conventions are certain rules that will not give you any error, but you need to follow these conventions so that it is being used in your program is completely compatible with the world outside. Somebody else can read your program, understand what you have written. Usually, say classes begin with capital letter. Okay. So we use variables usually in small letters. So definition, we have different methods. As we go on, we'll see what are these conventions. I'll tell you every convention wherever it is required. Okay, so Python code is comprising of a standard library and the main Python distribution. The primary focus of PEP8 is to improve the readability and consistency of Python. So what is PEP8? PEP8 means certain conventions that you are going to follow when you write Python or any kind of code. Now for Python code it is PEP8, for others also we have such kind of conventions. So introduction to Colabs. Now you can open your computers and log into your Gmail account and open your Google Colabs so that you can understand how to access Colabs. Okay? So this is your Colabs interface. I'll show you how to open. Go to Gmail, sign in, go to your drive. You can go to Google Drive and then click New. Click New. This is Google Colabs. So this is Google Colabs. Here is where you can write your Python programs. Here you can run your programs. You can open Google Colabs, and in Google Colabs you can type your Python programs. So this is a Google Colab environment where we can type our programs. Similarly, we have Spider also. Anaconda distribution, Spider we have. Okay, you can install Anaconda distribution free of cost, and you can, once you install and you open, you will get a screen like this. In this you can open the Spider. Okay, in Spider also you can type your programs and run in a similar way like what you do in Google Colabs. For the sake of convenience, in this workshop I will be using Google Colabs. You can do it either in Spider, Google Colabs or Jupyter Notebooks or any IDE. If you have any clarifications, you can ask me also. I'll come to you and solve your clarifications. Now let us begin. Let us start instructing the computer to print welcome to 2-day workshop on Python computing. Okay. So our first statement, print welcome to 2-day workshop on Python. So we are going to run this program on Colab so that we get the output welcome to 2-day workshop on programming. So this is the program here, this is the code, and you're writing this code in this particular cell. This is called as a cell. This contains a place where you can write your program as well as you can run your program in Google Colabs or in Jupyter Notebooks. Both these things look very similar. So I am opening my Google Colabs and I am typing print, P-R-I-N-T, print, welcome to today workshop on Python. This is the code. What I have written here or what I have highlighted now is the code or is the statement that is being executed by the Python interpreter. This particular button here shows that this statement is to be interpreted, and I'm going to run this statement. This is for run. Okay. When I run this statement, I will get an output. This is the program, and this output of this program is, it is getting connected to the Python 3 Google engine backend. It is getting interpreted there. Okay, so this is the output of the program. Welcome to today workshop on Python. This is the statement. This is a text message. This is a string variable which I have given here as an input, and I have used the proper Python syntax so that what I'll get is that I'll get the correct output. In case I don't close this bracket, for example, what happens? I'll get an error. It says that it is incomplete. In case I don't use this code properly, I've used only one side, still I'll get the same kind of errors. Unterminated string literal. So you have started a string but you have not ended it, so it is not terminated. But when I give quotes here, everything works perfect fine. Okay. So this is how you write a program and execute a program. So today, now in this workshop, we have started writing with our most simplest of all programs, that is about printing a statement, or printing a statement or printing a string literal. This is called a string literal. This welcome to today workshop on Python is a string literal. Are you all able to understand what I am saying? Is it clear? All of you? So, we have understood that if you are not terminating these things properly, if you are not giving the syntax properly, you will not get the output and you will start getting errors. Okay. So here, the word print is a keyword or as a function. You are invoking a function in Python to print something. That doesn't mean wherever the word appears, it is always a function name. Okay. The meaning of the word comes from the context in which the word has been used. The only argument delivered to print function in this example is a string. So, what we understood is, we understood that print stands for a function. Function is a set of statements executed. So we are invoking a function where a set of statements are being executed. Okay. Arguments are those which we pass inside a function so that that function uses these arguments. We'll see that when we come. We'll see that in detail when I teach you about functions in Python. So a string is always in between quotes. Next point, print welcome to and /n. I put a /n here. Today workshop on Python programming. What I do, I put a /n. What happens is that it is printed in a new line, next line. These are called as escape characters, /n, to print in the new line. print my book's name is slash colon the grade self slash. If I wanted to print double quotes, I will use the escape character slash double quotes and slash double quotes so that I'll get my book's name to be the grade self. Now I'll show it to you in practice here. Welcome to slash n. When I run this program like this, I'll get welcome to 2-day workshop on Python. This 2-day workshop has come to the next line. I can give either way. I can give multiple characters also. For example, I wanted it to be like this. I'll get it in 3 lines. Okay. Is that okay? Slash n forward slash, or this is called as escape characters. I wanted to put this in quotes. What I can do, I can put like this. I can use a slash. Now what I'll get? I'll get welcome to 2-day workshop on Python within quotes. The 2-day workshop on Python is within quotes. The next escape character what we are going to study is welcome to. We can give more than one arguments. Both the arguments will get printed. Okay. So we can use comma to print 2 things. Like say I should be careful. I should give. Now it is syntax. Now the syntax is correct. Here I'll get welcome to 2-day workshop on Python, because these are 2 different arguments. If I forget to give this comma, what will happen? It's taking it as 2 arguments. If I give so here I'll get an invalid syntax. Okay. So here I should give something like a some string or something like that. Now it is correct. So you can, from this particular statement or from this particular statement, you can understand that a print statement can have n number of arguments, right? Now I am going to use 2 print statements. So what I'll get first welcome to, and in the second line I'll get 2-day workshop. Okay, is that clear? So you can give in the end, you can give slash n so that the next line is printed in the next line and so on. And another example, another one, these are called keyword arguments. What I've given here, end is equal to slash n. Separate SCP is equal to star. That means I have 2 arguments which is separated by a star. I can use a separation SCP is equal to star to separate the different arguments in the print statement. Next, we'll see a practical example where we are going to use this sep and end and so on. So here I used a print statement, the cost of the training program is, and I've given 5,000, so that these two is separated by a dollar symbol, and in the end it ends with star and slash n, so that this is printed in the next line. Another example, email ID of the person, first name, domain name, separated by a @ and ends with /n. So you will get like this: the cost of the training program is $5,000. Email ID of the person is first name @domainname.com. We'll see how to use this here. Print the cost of training program, comma, 5,000. Another one thing is that 5,000 need not be a string, it can be a integer, float or anything. So let me, since I've done there in string, I will just use 5,000, comma. Now what we have to do? We have to use separated by. Let me use the dollar symbol. Now if I run this program, or if I run this statement, what I'll get? I'll get cost of this training program is $5,000. Print next one, first name, comma, domainname.com, @. So when I run this, what I'll get first name @domainname.com. Now in practical examples, there will be so many examples where you need to use this. This will be one variable, this will be another variable, and you may need to use this. So in practical cases, in several examples, you may need to use this separate in such formats. So these are called keyword arguments. We'll study in detail what are keyword arguments when we study functions. We are expected to use keyword arguments very frequently in Python for our real-time applications. Okay. Now let's understand what are variables and what are data types. Let us begin with string data types. Name is equal to Vishnu. Class is equal to S6. In this, what I am doing is that I am assigning a variable. The name of the variable is name and its value is Vishnu within quotes. When I am putting it within quotes, it means that this is a string literal, and the variable name takes the value of Vishnu. Variable is like a box. The name of the variable is, you are going to access its contents. Okay, name is a variable name here, and the contents, or what is there inside that contents, is Vishnu. Similarly, class, what is a class? S6ECE, that is a class. Okay, the variable name here is S_class. So name of the variable. The contents of the variable is S6ECE. Is that clear? Okay, that is how we declare variables. And when we print name without quotes here, that is, you are printing the variable, you get the contents of the variable printed. Okay. I am giving a variable called as a, which is equal to 5. I am printing a. That means I will get 5 as the output. I get 5 as the output. I can give, here I have taken integer, I can take b to be 10, c equal to, I can put it as Srijit, and so on, and print b comma c. So now what happens? Sorry, comma c. So I'll get 10 and Srijit printed. Okay, here I want the Srijit to be printed in the next line. I can use slash n and then I have to give a comma. Okay, I can use separate You got it? I'm getting it separated by name. Here also I'll get name, here also I'll get name. Is that clear? Suppose we need to do some processing with the string, we can use variables. Say if you want to add something or some, like say join, partition. These are certain built-in string methods or functions within strings that you can use. Suppose I want to join, let me put this to be some other name. Okay, b is equal to Python programmer. So after join, yes, you want this to have a variable, that also can be done. It is not compulsory, but still. No, print A is not required. We are doing in Colab, no, it is not required. If you want, you can give, even if you don't give, A will be printed. Okay. So after join, next thing is partition. You can use a string dot partition or string dot split. It will divide it into two halves, and both the halves will be stored as lists. What is a list? You don't know. I'll be teaching you what is a list in the coming sessions. Okay. So when you put it as partition, you will get it into two halves, and when you use split, you will get it into, wherever you have this, you will get it splitted. Is that okay? I want you to write this and try this as we go on. If you are unable to get something, we can sort it out. These are some string operations. So let me run this and show this to you. A is equal to ravi@gmail.com. This is an email ID. Now S is equal to A dot partition. partition at the rate, and now you are printing S. Yes, I forgot to declare this as a string, so double quotes here, right? So now it has got itself partitioned into 3 halves. Ravi @gmail.com. Now if I put it as split, what will happen? We'll see. Split. This @ symbol is not there when you split. So next data type what we are going to study is integer. Integers are numbers without any fractional part. We don't have any decimals or anything. If an integer number is preceded by an O0 or OO prefix, it is an octal integer. If an integer number it is OX, then it will be an hexadecimal number. Okay. In many of our electronic practical applications in binary and digital electronics, you may need to use octal and yes, hexadecimal number and octal numbers, right? Octal numbers means starts from 0 to 8, right? 7, 0 to 7, and hexadecimal means 0 to 15. You have A, B, C, D, E and F, right, from 9 onwards. Next data type is float. Floats are decimals, right? Say for example, speed of the light 3 into 10 raised to 8, we can write it as 3E8. E is used for into 10 power, okay? In Python, if you want to type into 10 power, we use 3E8. So here we get float values as the output. So float data type are decimal numbers or fractions. You can convert from integer to float, float to integer and so on. Okay. Let me say m is equal to 3.96 and I want integer of m. It is 3. Okay. Similarly, if I put 3 here and I put float of m, I'll get it as 3.0. Next we'll see how to handle complex numbers. Complex numbers, you know, we have both real part and imaginary part. So here, when here, you know, you represent complex numbers by j and not I, okay. 4 plus 9j means the real part is 4 and the imaginary part is 9. And j stands for root of minus 1. Okay. You already have got introduction to complex numbers and you may need to do this in your scientific computing. There is a lot of situations where you need to apply complex numbers. So complex numbers, another data type. Okay. X dot imag, IMAG. X is equal to 4 plus 6j. X dot real, I'll get the value 4. X dot imag, X you can find the conjugate by using conjugate X dot conjugate four minus 6j, X dot conjugate dot imag to get the imaginary part. Get us minus 6, right? X dot conjugate dot real to get the real parts. So next what we are going to see, as per our outline, we are going to see control statements in Python. How to use if statement. If statements general syntax is if, then this conditional expression, the output of this conditional expression will be a Boolean variable, Boolean data type. That means it will either have true or false as its value. Then a set of statements with this particular, there is a gap, okay. This indentation is very important in Python. A block of statements is assessed by the space that you give. Else this one. So here, for example, I have given marks is equal to 60. If marks is greater than 40, colon, enter, there will be a space here, print passed, else print failed. Okay. Now I'll show you with this with an example so that you can understand bit more better. Let me declare a marks that is equal to 40. Okay, this has come already. So if marks is greater than or equal to 40, pass, otherwise fail. Now if I run this program, I'll get the output as passed. Am I right? Yes or no? Now if I don't give this space, I'll get an error that it is an indentation error. There is no space here. Okay? Indentation error. Now if I remove this else here, there is no indentation error. But what I'll get both the pass and fail printed. Print pass and print fail. You understand? It is because after the statement has been executed, it is going here. Whatever, see, if I put here print marks, okay, marks, I'll get pass 40 fail. This fail is being printed. Now if I put these marks to be 30, what happens? What is the output I'll get? If I am changing the marks to 30, what would be the output I will get? Fail only. You know why? Only fail, because these two statements are given in this particular after a small gap. Now if I give it like this, what happens? I'll get 30 and fail. Okay? Is that clear? All of you understood the importance of spacing in if statement? If this space, statement 1, if this condition is true, these statements in this one is executed. If the condition is false, the statements after the space is being executed. So this is the conditional statement and if statement. Next we'll have for statement also. For loop statement is used to repeat one or more statements continuous to n number of times. Okay, the syntax for is that for we have a variable name and in the collection of items, and this is also when we have in, this is also a conditional statement. I'll give you an example with for else. Okay, let me put a is equal to somebody, right? For I in A. So it will go through all the values. And then it will print each one by one. Okay, SOM now else print done. That means after all these things are printed, there is no more value for I in A. It started from S and it ended in Y. So what it will do? It will end with done. Okay. This is how you can use for else statement. For else.